Hello and welcome to a new video in the Excel function series. Today I will talk about two functions, BYROW and BYCOL, both quite common, so I can do both in one video. So BYROW applies a function or a lambda to each row of an array, and BYCOL does the same but applies those things to a column of an array. So you see here the syntax, you have an array and then you have a function or a lambda, and the syntax is both the same for BYROW and BYCOL, and then there I have something written there like ETA and non-ETA, because since yesterday, on the current channel at least, the ETA functions are out, and I will show you in an instance what I mean by that. And you need to remember this. So you have, for example, an array 5 rows times 10 columns. Then the BYROW functions has as an output an array with 5 rows because we are applying this to every row, and only one column because we're summarizing the columns so far, so to say. And with BYCOL, it's basically not summarizing the columns, it's summarizing the rows, sorry. And with BYCOL, it's basically the same. But if you have a 5 times 10 array, you have one row and 10 columns because we are then summarizing the columns. So let's see how this could look like. I will also link this file in the video description if you want to look at it yourself. So we have here a few random numbers, and if we then write in there BYCOL, select our array, and then after the delimiter, you see here there are some functions that appear, and these are the so-called ETA functions. So here sum, average, min, max. If you don't have them currently, then you will need to update your Excel, or you will need to wait a little bit because the rollout is currently running. So if you then select, for example, sum, close the brackets, that function applies the sum to every column and summarizing those. So you could also write it, and before you need to write it that way, that you need to write here lambda, and then hand over the array as a parameter, for example a, and then write the function, give the function the parameter and close all the brackets, and it's basically the same function. So with the ETA functions that are here, you can do this a little bit faster. But you see here, there aren't functions for every function. So only, I think, a dozen or so. And if you want to do something a little bit more advanced or complicated, you need to step down to the Lambda solution. So type in here lambda a, and we want now only to add or summarize the values that are larger than 50. Yeah. So we type there in an if function. If a is larger than 50, then give me a, otherwise give me 0. Wrap this into a sum function, close all the brackets, and you have here, larger than 50, sorry. And you have here, you're summarizing larger than 50. So for example, for this here, only these three numbers aren't in, and you see here 601. So I've only shown you BYCOL, but you can also do this by row. For example, here by row, we want to have the average, close the brackets, and you get there the averages by row. So you're summarizing the rows, and you have this as an output, and you see here this is a dynamic array function, so you get here a dynamic array as an output, indicated by the blue line around the numbers there. You can also use this a little bit more advanced or complicated. For example, here I have Excel BI challenge 178. I've solved this challenge in another video. I will link the video up in the corner so you can show the whole video here. This is a little bit of the encryption. So you have here a string and want to encrypt it. And you see here there's a function. It's a long function here also before the eta time. So currently I would write here only concat instead of this lambda thing. And yeah, I have here my BYROW function and what this function does. So if you deconstruct it, I have here, this is my output array, and I then here concat it by row. Also here with eta functions you could do this a little bit shorter. So I want to have here in a dynamic way, I want to have the concatenation by row and therefore use the BYROW function here. And you see here you can use this function in a huge extent and also in complicated ways. So I hope you've learned something. If you have any additional questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Otherwise, I hope to see you in the next video on my channel or in the next video of this function series. Thank you. Bye.